So let's take it back about 20 years. It's the early 2000s, and high school dances are all the rage. From homecoming to winter formals, these events were the highlight of the school year. Kids would gather in the school gyms, either ready to bust out moves that they saw on the Wade Robson Project. Yeah, remember that show? Or just stand in a corner with their friends, judging everybody else. There was something for everyone there. The DJ was playing songs that were a mix of classic hits from the 90s and some of the latest pop and hip-hop tracks that were on the radio as well. And listen, before we even got to the dance, there was a lot of work involved as well. Ladies, you might have spent hours getting ready, whether you were experimenting with different hairstyles or makeup looks. And let's be honest, usually it all involves some kind of body glitter. Fellas, let's be honest, we usually kept it simple. Maybe a t-shirt and jeans, unless the occasion called for something a little more polished. Maybe a button-down and a pair of patent leather shoes. And let's not forget about those slow dances. They were a crucial moment for someone to make their move on someone they were totally crushing on. And at the end of the night, we'd all head home exhausted, usually happy, and usually packed with memories that would last a lifetime. So kick back and enjoy as Beth and I reminisce about our experiences with school dances in the early 2000s right here on Generation S.
What is it?
It's time to go back. Welcome.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Generation S. It's a podcast about growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s. I'm Dan Kemp, joined once again by my lovely wife, Beth Kemp. Beth, welcome back.
Hello.
You know, at this point, I mean, you've been on the show enough to where, like, if this was a sitcom, you, like Lou Carnivale, would be in the opening credits of the intro as like a, a guest starring so-and-so.
Well, I honestly sure would hope so. I mean, I know Lou is wonderful, and he's your best friend, but I am your wife, so...
Well, yeah, I'm just saying from a podcast perspective.
That's fair.
You're very quickly integrating into the ecosystem of Generation S.
I appreciate it.
And honestly, fantastic feedback from not just our friends, but even just, randos that give me feedback about the show that, they very much enjoy our witty banter. Although I will say, after our last appearance together, we did that Nick at Night episode. One of the big pieces of feedback I got, and just I want you to know this, is that you did not seem prepared for your discussion to talk about Nick at Night. So I will ask you. So today, by the way, we're talking about school dances today. We are. This is going to be coming out just after Valentine's Day, so I figured it was kind of the perfect time to talk about, what was a pivotal moment in the romantic lives of kids in junior high and high school, at least from my perspective. What are your thoughts there as far as the school dance?
I think I wasn't, I guess just worried about who liked who and what.
Yeah.
And though that's fair.
So I figured it was topical enough. We're actually recording this the day before Valentine's Day, and it's coming out the day after. So it's kind of right around, it's very,
that's fair. Yeah.
It's current. But anyway, my point being, after the feedback we got last time, do you feel prepared this time to discuss this topic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Well, listen, we're going to jump into it then. And we're just going to start talking about our experience with school dances, really for me, it was middle school, high school, and beyond. When did you start going to dances? How old were you when you had your first school dance?
I was trying to think, and sixth grade, I think, was the first one. If it was in fifth grade, I was either asleep or, I don't know.
Okay.
But sixth grade, yes, that was definitely, it was like a spring formal or semi-formal, as they called it, whatever, in sixth grade.
Like, did you get dressed up, though? Like
I did, yeah. I bought a dress. It wasn't, like, fancy, but it was, it was a dress.
Okay.
I went out and got, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And maybe we should make that distinction, because there were different types of dances you would go to in school. You would go to the semi-formal, where you'd maybe dress up a little bit, maybe like you said, a spring dress or what have you. Maybe did you wear like not the boutonniere? What's the girls' version called? The
corsage.
Corsage. There it is. Did you do a corsage as well, or
no?
No, that was more of a prom thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and by the way, we're not talking prom necessarily this episode. I'm going to save that for prom season, so probably May-ish.
Plus,
so
I didn't go.
you didn't go to prom.
No.
Why didn't you go to prom?
I didn't go to. I went to high school. Let me just. I didn't go to high school. No, I didn't. I left early, so I didn't give a crap about.
You had the dual enrollment thing going on, and they didn't have prom for dual enrollment.
Well,
students.
okay, so they did sort of. It wasn't a prom like you would think of a high school prom, but
Yeah.
It was a dance at the end.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, but I didn't go to the official high school. I didn't do all that mess. I didn't even walk at graduation. So.
Okay, well then I'm not going to do that episode with you. I have to find somebody else to do that episode with.
I'm not the person for that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So you had the semi-formal, you had the formal, which again is prom that we're not going to talk about. But then we also had kind of just the school dance, a casual school dance. So we're going to cover kind of those two areas, I suppose. And so you mentioned one with your kind of sixth grade. Now for me, I didn't have a school dance that I was allowed to go to until I was in seventh grade. But it was different for me because I went to a very small school.
Yeah. When we were talking, it's not shocking based on knowing the what it was up there, but it was very different than down here.
Yeah, well, very small. I mean, small school.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If we had, I think, grade 7 through 12, if we had 300 people, that would have been a lot. It was, I think, probably far less than that. And so, 7th through 12th grade would all go to the dances together, and we'd have it in one of our gyms. We had 2 gyms, so we had it in the gym, and we had a semi-formal that you could go to starting in 9th grade. So that because I was considered high school, even though it was all one building, we still separated junior high and high school.
Yeah,
and so we had that where the guys would dress up shirt and tie, girls would wear nice dresses, and then really the only other type of dance was the prom. Like, we didn't even have a homecoming dance because we didn't have homecoming. We didn't have a football team.
Oh yeah.
So there were neighboring schools that were a little bit bigger that had football, and they had the homecoming dance. We just never had it. I do remember we usually had, at least I remember early on in junior high school, like we had a dance pretty much every month. So, like, I remember we went back to school in September. We had a fall dance. We had the Halloween dance where everyone dressed up. That was probably my favorite of all, like, the entire year. Was fun. I loved it because, we'd all dress up. They'd have a costume contest. And so that was really cool. I don't think we may not have had one in November, but we definitely, I think, had one in December.
Like a winter. Yeah,
and then actually maybe it wasn't every month because the next one I remember was probably February Valentine's Day, and then I think we had a spring dance. So maybe it wasn't every month, but I remember we had quite a few, and I remember I got really excited because the first time I realized that I could go to dances, I was walking in the hallway to like third period or whatever, and I saw a poster on the wall like you would have seen it in like Back to the Future, right, with the dance and it said like fall dance, admission $3 or whatever, and it was great. I was so excited because I'd never been to a dance. I didn't really know what to expect other than what I'd seen in movies, and it was a fantastic time. So let's talk about before the dance even. I mean, for me, especially as I got older and went to more and more of them, I kind of had a routine that I would do with me and my friends. We kind of had this which this is how you get ready for a dance. Like, but let's start with you because I feel like it's more of a girl thing to get ready for dances. Like that's like a thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you hang out with friends, get ready together before the dance, or was it always like you met up at the dance after you were ready?
Sometimes we did. Yeah, not necessarily all the time, but yeah, sometimes we would. Somebody would go over to someone's house and bring our makeup box, our caboodles.
Your caboodle?
Or caboodles. That's what you call the little plastic container that held all your freaking hair shit and stuff. The caboodles.
The caboodles. All right. Because I'm trying to think. Again, I'm a guy, so we didn't probably do nearly as much to get ready as you guys did. So I'm trying to guess what else you would have had, like butterfly clips. Would that have been part of it?
There was a ninth grade homecoming dance that entailed butterfly clips.
Butterfly clips,
sure.
Body spray.
Yeah. Roll-on glitter.
Oh, the roll-on glitter. How could we forget the roll-on glitter?
Yeah. No, it was there.
Okay.
All of it was there.
So, from a male perspective, it always seemed like the girls, were trying to be like, just this old thing, that they show up acting like this is just what they always wore. But I mean, tell it to me straight from a girl's perspective. What was going through your head before the dance?
Oh my gosh, you had to make sure everything was just perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, especially not so much in like middle school, but like getting that spray on tan or that, going to the tanning. My mom didn't let me go. To the
I was going to say,
tanning
did you do the spray on tan?
or I would do the lotion, the self tanning.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
it was like a bronzer lotion or something.
Because that was huge, man.
Yes.
Being tan was like the biggest thing.
Oh yeah.
And So thank you, Mom, for not letting me go to the tanning bed in hindsight.
In hindsight,
because I don't have melanoma.
Well, I was just going to say you didn't have leathery looking skin, but if you want to take it to the next degree, you can. That's fine.
But anyway, like you had to make sure that you had the perfect, like base skin tone. You had to have your hair done. You had to have, the dress and make sure that you looked good.
What about like the casual, non-semi-formal where you're just wearing like street clothes, whatever you want to call it? Like, did you have a go-to outfit?
I didn't really go to those, honestly.
You only went to like the semi-formal?
Yeah, we didn't really have.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. Like or what happened with you is a lot different.
Interesting.
I would have loved like a Halloween, like informal.
You didn't have a Halloween dance?
No.
What? Well, okay. I thought that was normal.
I would like it to be normalized.
I had such a good time. Yeah, I remember.
Absolutely not.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like even as a high school, I was a high school teacher, and it was just homecoming and prom.
That's it.
And
there was no other. Oh my gosh.
Nothing else. Not probably because the teachers are burnt out and don't want to.
Well, now wait a minute, because I feel like when we first started dating and you were teaching, I feel like we went to a Halloween dance together that you chaperoned. Or maybe that was
homecoming.
That was homecoming. You're right.
1,000%. Yes, there were chicks dressed up as fairies, so maybe that's what, because it was like magical forest theme. But yeah, no, it was not Halloween.
All right, it wasn't a Halloween dance then. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it was all like for us, it was like all or nothing. Like you laid it all out there. You had to like.
Did you ever have like a guy date, or was it always just girls that you would go with as a group?
It was always girls.
So you never had a date to one of those things?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Would you have wanted one, or
Of course, yeah. Hello.
Okay, that's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's fine. Whatever. It's going to be out on the internet for all to hear. Whatever.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Listen, you're happily married now. I mean, you're married at least, But well, for me, so I had a routine, and it was usually at first it was just me, and then I think probably by like 8th or 9th grade, I had like a few guys that I would hang out with, buddies, and we would get ready before the dance, and it would be a lot of Axe body spray, which I couldn't afford Axe body spray, so it was whatever the dollar store knockoff was that my mom would buy.
What would that be called? Let's see. We need to come up with a name for that.
For Axe, or like a knockoff Axe, like Hatchet. I don't know.
Hatchet.
Yeah, Hatchet
yeah,
body spray.
There you go.
Yeah, so we'll call it Hatchet body spray.
Hatchet.
Or we'll call it New Herb, instead of Old Spice. I don't know. Anyway, all I remember is we had
Hatchet. I'm sorry.
Wow. We had a lot of body spray though. I remember that, and then I would gel my hair, like especially like in like high school. Like I would do a lot of the gel in my hair. And my buddy, he bought it's called Got to Be Glued. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think they still have it.
Yeah, people still use it.
But it's in like a yellow bottle, and literally like I don't have hair anymore, and it's so sad because I used to.
You can apply wigs with that stuff.
I mean, yeah, it's legit. Yeah. Like so, I would just throw it in my hair, and then I would do the classic. I don't even know what the style is called, where you comb it down and swoop up the front, like the rooster tail, or the rooster. I don't know what is that? You know what I'm talking about?
Because all the boy bands did that.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's why it was what cool people did. I didn't have the complete look. Like I didn't have like the Adidas shell top sneakers to go with it because again, I couldn't really afford super nice shoes. And so, but I would anyway. Back to the hair. So I'd spike it up, and like I would literally make like 2 or 3 with my hands, and like I would hold them there and make sure it like hardened. So I had like basically a freaking rhino horn on my head going to this dance, and I thought I was the cat's pajamas. Let me just tell you. And so we would go. I lived very close to school, so we sometimes we would walk to the school to go to the dance, or we'd get a ride from my dad or whatever. And 7 to 10. It was always 3 hours for the regular dances. I think the semi-formal went from like 6 to 10 or 7 to 11 or something. It was a little longer, but like the regular dances, 7 to 10, you show up, and there was kids at the door taking tickets. You walk in and you kind of go find your spot. I feel like every time we went to the gym, like every group kind of hung out because it was very cliquey, even at a dance where you'd hang out.
I mean, it's high school.
Yeah, you'd hang out in groups. The DJ was up on the stage, and you would kind of just walk around. And me and my friends, we really liked to dance. That was big. We weren't very good at it, but we loved to dance. And so we kind of walk around like, all right, cool. That looks like a good spot for me to do the worm later. That was kind of going through my head at that time. And I always had to make sure that was, by the way, in case if you're listening to this, you don't know me. My go-to dance move to this day is the worm. I can still bust that out on an as-needed basis. I can.
Can you?
I yes, you've seen me do it.
Without throwing your back out, though.
Well, no, that's not the point. The point is, it's you living in the moment, Beth.
Okay. I'm just
Yeah.
keeping it real.
So we're walking around in our. This was another thing too. Just thinking about the outfit. So we had like the the puka shell necklace, right? And then we had, is that what it's called? Puka shell?
I guess.
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Necklace,
Yeah, the shell necklace. And then we would have like if it was colder, we'd wear like a sweater, but all the sweaters were the same. They were like finely woven, and they all had like a horizontal stripe right across the middle and across the arms. Do you remember that that look?
Cross your nippies.
It was a stripe across the nippies, absolutely. And then we'd have either jeans or honestly, I was more of like a cargo pants kind of guy. Like I had like the big cargo pocket khaki pants, so that was my look. And again, I didn't have shell tops. I did have, because I worked at a shoe store and I had wide feet, I had a pair of K-Swisses.
Oh, those were actually pretty popular.
They're very similar to the
they were nice shoes.
They were really good.
I wouldn't
nice.
be shitting on some K-Swisses.
But I think I was a junior in high school, so before then, I mean, my shoes were pretty hit or miss. But
what are those?
But y'all, okay. But you had to have. I just messed up the microphone there. Well, but you had to have the good dancing shoes, right? For me, because I like to dance, so I had to wear something that I could really, bust.
See, this is what pisses me off.
What's that?
Okay, I'm just going to put it right out there. Is that you're sitting there going, I had the comfiest shoes, and I had to really just make sure that they were so comfy so I could do all that. Do you know what the freak we wore? Not comfy shoes, okay? Because we were trying to look hot.
Well,
okay.
Listen,
and then we had to dance, and now I think I have permanently deformed my big toes because of the heels that I wore in my teens and early 20s. There, I said it.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, having seen your big toes, that explains a lot now. So. Well, I'm more so talking about, again, the casual dress-down dances, where you could wear sneakers. For the semi-formals and stuff like that, no, I was wearing patent leather shoes.
Okay,
and,
still.
They're not.
Were they flat?
I mean, they had a bit of a heel on the back. Okay, not like what you guys wore, but certainly not comfortable to dance in.
Strappy shoes, your pinky toe couldn't breathe. You didn't know if it was going to fall off because it was kind of turning purple.
Okay,
come on.
Yeah, but my shoes were like, they were the triangle tip where my toes are all and you've seen my feet. They're freaking Flintstone feet. Like, they don't fit in shoes very well like that. So trust me, my dogs were barking about halfway through those dances too.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy.
So, well, listen, again, I guess I'm really sad that, you had to go to dances, with friends and not like a boyfriend kind of deal.
Oh my God, it was fine, really.
Was it?
Okay. That kind of does sort of lead me to that story.
Was that, you want to tell that story?
Well, I don't know, because you're making me feel bad that I was a loser.
You weren't a loser.
I was a loser, but it's okay. No, I thought that I was going to actually have a date to the 9th grade homecoming.
Really?
Yeah. So started out 9th grade, all right, because homecoming for us is like September-ish.
Yeah.
Is when so start out, we, in the South here, we start school in August, the butt crack of, August.
Yes.
And so, it had been a month and a half. And I was, in high school now. Okay. So I was, really trying
That's
to
a big step up. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to reinvent myself. I'm sure much like every other, 9th grader, pretend that 8th grade and behind didn't ever happen. And I'm a new person.
Well, it was a different school building. So
well, that too.
Technically,
for me,
you could reinvent yourself.
So anyway, I was like, oh, this is the year, girl. This is the year. And so biology class, 3rd period, if I recall correctly, there's this gorgeous boy that walks in the classroom. Gorgeous. Okay. He played tennis, basketball, hockey, and was a drummer in a band. I mean, I was like,
that's a total package right there.
Yeah. Like, and he was nice, like super nice. I honestly like Nickelback solely because of him. Because I wanted to impress him. I saw he was talking about Nickelback, and so I bought the CD and put it in my bag and accidentally knocked my bag over. Our desks were next to each other, and my CD fell out deliberately, and he was like, oh my God, you like Nickelback too? And I was like,
are you serious?
Yeah, totally, 1000%.
That's like the plot of a Disney show.
Yeah, well, I watched a lot of Disney, okay? Anyway, so this is a true freaking story. So anyway, he picks up my Nickelback CD, the Silver Side Up one, okay? And he hands it to me, and we lock eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is it. And so anyway, he gives it back to me. We start talking. I help him a little in biology, whatever. It's cool. And so we start talking about the dance. And he was like, I was like, are you going? And at first he's like, I don't know, man. Like, their dances are lame. And I was like, oh yeah. I mean, well, I might go. I don't know. Like, you just show up and like, just kind of make fun of people, just see, like whatever. Like, it's not.
That's what you always did. Like, if you wanted to impress them, like, let's just go and make fun of other people.
Yeah. And so he was like, all right. I mean, yeah, like my buddies and I, we'll be there. So like, we'll catch up. And I was like, yeah. He was like, and so we got closer and, to the dance and we were talking and everything. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to get there right at blah, blah, blah. Like, meet me there at the door. And I was like, sweet. So this is the one that I pulled out all the stops. I will say, I still have this picture somewhere. It's probably in my parents' house right now. I had railroad tracks on my teeth because I had the most jacked up mouth. So there's a just giant metal, and I got the rubber bands on the braces to match the color of my dress.
Oh, nice.
That's how dedicated I was.
Absolutely.
So it was a lilac dress. So I got lilac rubber bands when I got my teeth tightened or whatever they did at the orthodontist office.
Yeah.
So I got lilac rubber bands. It sounds like I'm like, oh, that really happened? Oh my God.
You weren't alone. I feel like there's people listening now that did the same thing.
Probably. I hope so. Please, dear God, comment and let me know that I'm not the only freak in the universe. Went to the neighbor's house. Her daughter or aunt or somebody did hair. Whatever. It was a discounted thing. So I got cornrows, like halfway cornrows.
Oh, that was very popular back then.
Yeah, totally got that. Yeah. Again, I have no idea.
Was it an updo or was it a downdo?
It was half. So I did.
So you cornrowed and then let it down in the back. So it looked like a mullet almost. Oh, you curled it too.
Shut up!
Wow!
Stop it!
I'm picturing that in my head.
You are literally. I'm gonna make you delete this entire freaking recording. I swear to God, if you keep talking, it's gonna happen. I'm laying it out there right now.
No, keep going. This is good.
Anyway, I had rainbow clips, or not rainbow, I'm sorry, butterfly clips, purple, sparkly butterfly clips, okay?
So they match the bands on your mouth?
Yeah, and my dress.
And your dress,
1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay, had a lilac little clutch, okay. Makeup, blue mascara was big, white, like, like colors, like the light, like bright colors.
I remember that. It was all light colored, like lip gloss and everything like that. You didn't have like the dark red lipstick that was out.
So that was all like lip smacker, whatever was happening over there on my lips.
Yeah.
All that. I can see this picture in my brain right now, and it's just, oh my God, I'm cringing right now internally. So I was done up, and I was really excited because I was like, I was going to dance with this guy and we were going to kiss. In my mind, we were going to kiss. And so I get there and he's sort of like, we danced a little, but it was like really awkward and like weird. And I was like, what do I smell? Do I like look funny or something in my teeth? Like, what is wrong? Like, I legitimately had a complex from this dance for about 8 years. No.
Wow.
Probably 6 years because I bumped into him again. Okay, so that was awful.
After high school, this was.
Yeah, I bumped into him again. On your UGA's campus. We kind of talked. It was still super hella awkward, and I was like, "What did I do? Like, what did I do to you?"
You asked him this, or this is what you were thinking?
No, I'm thinking because I didn't have the balls.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, okay, like whatever. And so he friends me on Facebook, or I friend him, something like that, whatever. And then like 2 years later, I'm scrolling Facebook and I see that this individual is engaged. And I click on it and I see his wonderful fiance is a man. And I'm very, very happy for him. But that totally, I was like, you could have told me, please, because I spent 8 years.
Well, here's the thing. He might not have known.
No,
he may not have wanted to, admit that truth to himself yet. So
Well, no, and that's fair, and it's not. I'm happy. I'm legitimately happy for him. He's
Yeah.
a very cool guy, very nice guy.
But was that validating for you? Like, hey,
no, I literally thought I was an orangutan. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I'm a freaking ugly ass monkey with funky teeth, and I smell bad, and I'm an orangutan, and that is why I scared this dude in my third period biology class away. Now, he just didn't like me like that.
nope.
He just wanted to
did not.
legitimately be my friend, and that's fair. Like,
and listen
in
to Nickelback
hindsight,
together.
that's fine. Yeah, I even went. I watched him play. He had invited me to a couple of at the mall by the house. They would do Battle of the Bands and let little high school bands enroll.
Yep.
And they would play, and you'd cheer and vote and all that stuff. So I saw him play that. He invited me to a couple of house parties that they played at. In the basement. So but it was just the dance just really like weirded him out.
That took you down a peg, though. I mean, when you
Oh yeah, no, that
when you thought that it was you, something wrong with you.
Oh,
and it
1000%.
wasn't.
No, it was no. And like I said, I was never been so relieved in my entire.
Sure.
I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. I mean, wow. No, that's never happened to me.
Sorry. Yeah, that was a really wow. That I put that out there, guys. So
No, that was good. So, in case anyone's curious, I did have dates to dances. Usually, it depended. Like if I had a girlfriend at the time, obviously we went to the dance. If I didn't, actually, for anything semi-formal, like I always had a date, whether it was a girlfriend or just a girl that was like, "Hey, let's go together. It's cool. We're friends. It's fine." So I always had that at least. For like the regular casual dances, usually I would just go with my friends, but if I had a girl that I was dating, because honestly, and this sounds so terrible, but if I would date a girl, usually actually pretty much every time she always went to a different school. It was one of those.
Okay.
No, I really did. I swear.
My girlfriend, she goes to another high school. You wouldn't know her. Okay.
She's a model. No, but I did have girlfriends from other schools, and so you had to get them on the guest list, and so I would always go register my girlfriend for the guest list, and she'd come to the dance, and she'd hang out with my friends and me, and it was fine.
How much did you have to pay her?
I didn't have to pay her.
I'm just kidding. I'm just being bitter.
That's just, because considering you never really had dates for your dances,
All
I'm
right.
just saying,
All right.
jeez.
All right.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, we've made it through the awkward phase of getting ready for a dance. Who do you go to the dance with? We're at the dance.
Oh, well, I didn't say that
there's more. Okay.
down here as well. I think is a difference is, it's not out of the ordinary for a homecoming to have like even a limo.
Oh, yeah.
We had done that. We had done that where the parents would pool together and we would get stupid like sparkling Welch's grape juice, and we thought we would act drunk, in the back
of course.
Yeah, we're like, oh my God, I'm so wasted.
Yeah.
And obviously we were not. But yeah, you just act all like weird. So yeah, and then we would go to Ippolito's.
So it's like an Italian restaurant.
Yes.
But that's like where everyone went?
Yeah, that was a place to be, is Ippolito's.
Well, you know what it was for us?
What?
It was Olive Garden.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, Olive Garden.
Props for the Italians.
I don't care what anyone says. Olive Garden to me is fine Italian cuisine.
Italian.
And growing up, that was like the fancy place to go. And I don't care who knows it. It was fantastic. Loved it. Just unlimited breadsticks did not eat themselves. I'll tell you that.
No, sir.
So we had the limo thing, but again, that was like a prom thing.
I know. Yeah. No, like I said, I think, it is interesting that there were such stark differences between.
Like even the
South.
semi-formals, and we got dropped off, and that was it. Maybe I don't even think I went out to dinner beforehand with any of like my dates or whatever, except for prom. No, we just went.
No, we would go get some garlic knots. Their garlic knots were bomb.
I'm sure. Yeah,
it was like as big as your.
So you
fist.
fill up on those, and then you're gonna go dance in heels. Like that was your game plan.
Yeah, 1000%. But like when you're in your teens, it doesn't.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you don't really get that.
Like that sounds terrible to me now as a 35-year-old person.
Oh, going to chow down the garlic knots and going clubbing.
Terrible. Like my stomach would be in knots, literally.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm just thinking about that.
Yeah, I feel nauseous.
Gas. Yeah. All right. So listen, we've made it past the who do you go with, what do you wear. We're at the dance, okay? Picture this in your head. We're at a dance now. You're hearing a song that comes on. First off, let me ask you, did you dance to every song, or was there only certain songs and then otherwise you were standing in the corner with your friends?
It kind of depended on the group that I was with for the time, honestly. I if I didn't care, like now at this age, I'll go to a wedding and I'll keep dancing. I'll give a crap who's up there, who's not, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it depended on who I was with, the group, and if they were like really adventure, like they didn't care who saw them or not. So I mean, it was situational.
So you were a follower, basically.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
So whatever your friends would do, you would go along with it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say you've got your friends that maybe weren't adventurous. Let's say you're hanging out in the corner. And you'll dance, but it's got to be the right song. So just
we would all dance together to like a really like upbeat song or something.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're going to get to slow dancing in a minute here.
Okay,
I want to have a discussion about that, but we're talking kind of fast upbeat songs. Give me your top 5 songs that if you heard it, you were out of the dance floor. Don't care who knows it.
Oh my.
Can you think of 5? If you can't think of 5, just give me as many as you can.
See, and now I'm unprepared.
Yep.
I don't know. You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, this was a later high school one, but anytime I heard Usher's "Yeah," I was out there on the dance floor. Didn't care. By myself, with friends, didn't matter. I would dance.
Oh, that makes me think of the song from the window to the wall. What the window?
Oh,
wall,
Get Low.
Sweat drop down my
my sweat. Yeah. Who does that song though?
Dum dum dum.
Yeah. Dum dum dum.
That little God. Is it Little John? No,
it's not Little John.
No, it's not. Okay.
No, that's okay. No big deal. Really not a big deal. Let's see. What are some other ones that we would dance? I mean, because there were so many back then, and it was. I will not lie and say that anytime they popped on like NSYNC, yeah, I was out there.
Yeah.
I remember there was a dance off where they played NSYNC's "It's Gonna Be Me," and it was good times. That was a really good song to dance to.
Oh boy.
What else? What's that one? I think it's Fat Joe. What's Love? Right?
What is love?
What's love? Got to do with it. You know that one, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember who it's by. I think it's Fat Joe, and maybe not.
I've
Probably
told
not.
you in the past. I don't.
You don't know
sing
song
them.
names.
I don't know any names.
All right. You know what else they would play at my dances? Pretty much without fail, like the YMCA would come on.
Really?
Did you ever have stuff like that, like the classics?
No.
So we had the YMCA. I think we had Love Shack by the B-52s that would always come on.
Cupid Shuffle.
No, that was after high school.
I feel like
that didn't come out until 2008.
Really?
And we already graduated. Now, we had the Casper Slide.
Oh, sorry.
And that I would have a great time with. So that was that one I first heard. I think I first heard it at the skating rink, maybe, which is funny because you can't really do it on skates.
We would also, Cotton Eye Joe.
Yes, and there's a dance to it. You know the dance, right?
No.
There's a dance to it.
I know there is, but we would just link arms and skip in circles.
Yes. Oh, well.
That's not the dance. I know there's
there's an actual, but I knew the dance.
They tried to teach me. I didn't.
No, it was very popular where I grew up. We definitely did the Cotton Eye Joe. Yeah, I don't even know if that's what the dance is called.
Cotton Eye Joe is awesome.
They would always play Ice Ice Baby from Vanilla Ice.
That's fair.
That was another really popular one. They would do Baby Got Back was a really popular one. That one would get the crowd riled up. So you had Baby Got Back. You had, I'm trying to think. There was basically, if it was in the top 40 and it was playing on the radio every week, you probably heard it in the early 2000s.
You're like, oh my God, I love this song.
Yeah, I remember a couple of times like they busted out Down with the Sickness, which I thought was pretty ballsy of them.
No, I don't think that was ever a thing.
Oh no, yeah, because you had to have the mosh song, right? So you had the guys, because there were guys that would go to dances, and if that came out, they were moshing, right? They were jumping into each other and all that stuff. So that was definitely a thing. What's it? Drop It Like It's Hot from Snoop Dogg. That was a really popular one. You had another good one, 50 Cent's PIMP.
Yeah,
remember that one? Yep. So, oh man, I'm just thinking of these now as we're talking because I didn't write any down. I should have.
Yeah.
But man, so many good songs. And yeah, so by the end of the night, I was exhausted because again, back then I could dance to pretty much every song, and I'd get tired, but I would go swig some water from the water fountain and get back out on the dance floor, and it was good. And I was doing the worm and all this craziness. And so let's before we get to the slow dancing, let's talk about like the refreshments, because I feel like that was in and of itself a very significant part of any school dances. You had like the, for the bigger dances, you had the punch bowl and the snacks that were like included. But most of ours was like you could go to because the gym was right next to the cafeteria. Well, technically the gym was the cafeteria, so you had the kitchen right outside of the gym, and you could go out there and they had like pizza and soda and stuff like that. So did you ever like get the snack food or whatever when you were there?
The drinks, because
Yeah.
we usually, not.
Because usually we had those
Yeah.
garlic nuts before.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, they might have had like some candy and stuff out, and would have gotten like
Yeah.
a handful of M&Ms or something, like.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was about it. Yeah, nothing.
Okay. All right. So let's talk then about, because this is going to be a very interesting kind of dynamic here, given that you didn't go to these with dates, really.
Oh my God! Seriously, you're just gonna keep
Well, listen,
bringing it up.
We're going to talk about slow dancing, because I feel like, again, that's in and of itself a very significant thing at a school dance. It's a very, you get together with another, person of the, whatever persuasion you're into. And, back then I feel like it was, you probably, regardless of your persuasion, you would usually go boy, girl, because that was just the times.
But I do feel like it was also acceptable for two chicks. Nobody would say anything.
Well, no, back then nobody would, it was two girls, but, So for slow dances, like, would you go find a guy, or would that be like, okay, gonna stand in the corner with my friends, we're not gonna do it?
Well, like I said, that 9th grade one, I had a guy and I found him, and there was a lot. I mean, Jesus had all the room in the world. He had a lot of friggin' room. Okay.
So
there was a lot of room.
I feel like I didn't hear that phrase until I moved down south. Can you please explain what
I'm sorry.
what that means with Jesus?
You gotta leave room for Jesus. You gotta make sure that you are not grinding yourself against the dude. We're not, it's not sex education class. Okay. So you got to leave room for Jesus.
Well, that's, I forgot to even talk about that. That was like my first experience of like watching, like in Dancing with Girls that would like grind. That was the thing. Was that, we didn't invent that obviously,
Probably
but like,
not, I don't know.
I feel like that was really popular. That was another reason why I looked forward to going to school dances.
Oh yeah. The kids would get yelled at because they would do like freaking grind trains, dude. Like they were all be just like, I was too scared. And
you wouldn't do the grind trains?
No, God, no.
No.
It's like, I'm going to hell.
Wow. Is that Catholic guilt kicking in?
Yep. Nope. I'm going to hell.
So, okay, let's say it's not your 9th grade semi-formal homecoming, and you don't have an actual date. Would you go find a guy and just say, hey, you want to dance? Or would you dance in a circle with your friends?
Yes.
Or you would? Okay, so that was a thing too.
We put our pocketbooks in a circle and we would just get in a circle. There's a comedian who does something.
Yes, Dane Cook.
Yeah, there you go. I love Dane. We just dance.
I would go find, if I hadn't brought a date with me to the dance, I would go find a girl. Like that was always, and there was like a couple girls that I had crushes on, so I had to make sure like I asked them first, and if they said no, then I would, settle for somebody else kind of deal.
I have to say, I think part of it, and going back, I think I had this comment, or said this comment to you in the car earlier today. If I went back to my high school self, with the knowledge and experience I have now, oh my God, it would be so much different, because I was so worried about, like, I didn't have the balls to go ask a dude, or to like, I don't know. I was just like, and I just feel like that's part of, like, I'm envious, because I feel like you didn't give a crap, and you were able to just kind of, I was just too scared and quiet to just do anything until I didn't come out of my shell until like I was at West Georgia.
Well, and I'll say this. I know I'm obviously coming off very suave right now with apparently how much game I supposedly had. Let me assure you.
Well, I'm not saying you had game. No. I'm sorry. Whoa. Let me just be clear. No, you had you had
gumption.
Cojones. You had those.
Okay.
That I didn't possess, because I was afraid that somebody would be like, gross, you're an orangutan girl. Because I swear that's what I was.
Oh my. Well, so yeah, I would dance with the girl, and I usually it was if it was my girlfriend, but sometimes if I was single and the girl was down with it, I would cup the booty, I would dance with the hands on the lower hips kind of deal, that was and what's funny is like no chaperones ever said anything to us. No one told us to leave room for Jesus. It was just a thing. Maybe it's the difference in the North and the South. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I always loved slow dancing. I always thought, especially if it was with a girl that I was dating or that I had a crush on, I was always like, that was my moment. Or I've always been kind of a hopeless romantic. If you listen to any previous episodes where I've talked about like the chick flicks or rather the rom-coms or the boy bands and stuff like that, I'm a hopeless romantic at heart. Always have been. And back then it was pretty bad. So or good, however you want to look at it. But it was pretty intense. And so I always look forward to the slow dances of the night. So you got the slow dance, and then, at the end of the night, you had like that last song. And for us, it was always the same song. Like to the point where, like, when I told my dad, because he would always pick me up for the dance, go, "Did you have fun? Great, yeah. Would you listen? Would they play?" And I always told him the last song that they would play, and it was always "Stairway to Heaven" from Led Zeppelin.
Really?
That was our last song of the night, like every dance. But my dad knew that because apparently they did that for his dances too.
Oh, that's weird.
Did they have a last song that they would always play for yours? Like that was the same?
If they did, I didn't pay attention.
Really?
I mean, they had a last song, but I don't think it was a consistent thing. So
no, I remember this vividly.
Plus, I went to different schools anyway, so
well, that's true. Yeah, but I don't know, like, because apparently it was a thing for other schools too. So, but it was what I loved about it was a slow song. You know, it was fairly slow, so like it would be a slow dance to end the night. So that was always great if I was, had my eye on a girl that I wanted to dance with.
Weird song for like high school kids. I don't know.
I don't know. We loved it, man. It was great. Well, and it was like long as hell. So like you got to hold on to your loved one for longer than normal. And I remember usually by like that hard riff that got going on in the middle of it where they're shredding, or no, it wasn't shredding, but you know what I'm talking about, where they kind of pick it up a little bit. Yeah. That's when they start turning the lights on in the gym. And like people start
last call at the bar.
Basically, yeah, that's what you think of. And they're putting the folding chairs back away in the closet, and they start cleaning up as you're dancing. And
right, because no freaking faculty member wants to stay there. Of
course not. Well, you know that as a teacher.
And as I was going to say, I've been on the other side of the school dance situation, and I can vouch for that crap.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So let me ask you, I mean, it's been a while since you've been in a school and would have been in a position to chaperone a dance for kids, but was it different chaperoning as a teacher? Like, did you see different things than you might have done at a school dance? Had it changed much over the years?
Other than the fashion, no.
No, it was basically the same type of people acting awkward.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Weird. And I would chuckle because they didn't think I was hearing or listening, to them talking about this one or that one or whatever. And that is one thing that, I don't care what decade you're born in. I do feel like
we all feel the same way.
Just the awkwardness of the teenage years that you couldn't pay me to go back. There's not a sum of money in the world to withstand that awkwardness. Yeah. Absolutely not. No way.
Yeah. So the dance ends, right? And that's not where our conversation's going to end, but the dance ends, you get picked up, or, you get a ride home from wherever. And if you're with your friends, like maybe you had a sleepover, like did you ever have the sleepovers afterwards kind of deal where you guys would kind of recap the evening and talk about everything that happened? Yeah. So we would do that. Now, if it wasn't a sleepover, or let's say I was, I had a girl that I was dating, immediately would get home. When she got home, we would jump on AIM together. I would wait for her to get, because I usually live closer. I would wait for her to get on AOL Instant Messenger. And then we would just start talking about how much fun we had at the dance. And it's amazing how much I'm blown away by how little we actually talked about things for such a long period of time. Like, you could get on, and I want to do a whole episode on this, so we're not going to go too deep on this, but AOL Instant Messenger, you could literally have a conversation with your friends for 3-4 hours but about nothing.
1,000%.
And I guess you can kind of do that now with texting, but in general, like, no, like I can't do that now. Like, I don't know. Like,
well, I also feel like thinking back, like we actually legitimately have shit to do now that we're adults.
That's fair.
So, I mean, honestly, if you, I do feel the same applies to a high school kid with a cell phone. And maybe he or she doesn't have AIM, but they're talking about nothing.
That's all right. That's fair.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's fair.
Okay. We don't have time for that.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Oh gosh. Okay. So, and then, of course, the next day, if you were really dancing hard, I was usually kind of sore, honestly, because that's how hard I went. And God, I remember like I would stink too, because like I wouldn't shower that night before I went to bed. Oh, I know. I was a morning shower guy, so I would always take showers in the morning, and so the next morning I would shower.
I've told you this multiple times. I would take 2 a day if the need arose.
Yeah.
I was.
Well, but you're also, especially for those semi-formals, you wearing makeup and all this like hairspray, so like it makes more sense for you. But
I could not go to sleep.
No, as a guy, I mean, unless I had like a ton of gel in my hair, I would maybe rinse that out and wash my hair, kind of deal, just to get it out of my head, and then I would go to bed and then shower the next morning. But no, I don't really do that much.
Okay.
I was tired. I'd been dancing my buddy off, booty. I was going to say butt, and then I was going to say booty, and it just came out buddy.
Buddy.
I was going to dance my butt off.
Okay,
anyway.
That's fair, yeah. If you want to dance with your buddy, too, that's fine.
Well, there it is. So, we're adults now. I mean, it's been 20 years since some of these dances we've been to. Would you go to a high school dance for grown-ups at this point?
I mean, no, but I used to up until relatively recently, and actually it was like 3 weekends ago. I go to clubs and dance
Well, that's
sometimes,
different,
but
though.
That's different. Yeah,
That's
no.
different. So, like, the closest thing that I've come to a high school dance since high school would be like a wedding, right? Where you're dressed up
And
nice.
I dance at those. You've
Well,
seen
and
me.
when I have seen you, I've seen you dance 8 months pregnant.
Yes.
Well, you were 6 months pregnant, but still.
Whatever. Still, he was.
You were having a
bowling
great time. Yeah. And you were, yeah. So there's something special about high school dances that, for me, like, very fond memories. Like, all in all, thumbs up on my memories of high school dances. I mean, what about you? It sounds like it was kind of a mixed bag.
I would say in hindsight, retrospect, it's fond. Yeah, because we would get, ready together and do all this stuff. And, we made the most of the situation.
Yeah. Did you look forward to them every time?
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Because I thought that there would be some, like, I watched a lot of Hallmark apparently as well, that some like weird magical, mystical miracle or something, like this dark night would come through the door and just sweep me off my feet. Never happened. So
Well, I think that's everybody. For me, I was, hoping I could be that white knight for somebody, and I think all of us were a little hopeless romantic at some point in our teenage
Well, yeah, because
years.
we saw it all, like you said.
You saw it on TV.
You saw it on TV.
Yeah.
You saw what it was like, what the.
Well, it's like I mentioned in the rom-com episode. Like, we see these, frankly, superficial and unobtainable relationships
Yeah.
that, you thought, oh, that must be what love is. That's what I want. I want that for me because I see it on TV.
Yeah. You don't know what it is.
I think the school dance is like the perfect kind of embodiment of that feeling that we got from and getting so close to having that feeling that recreating a moment from a movie or something like that.
Right.
That was your chance to do it, right?
Yeah.
And usually didn't ever play out that way. But that's okay because I still had a great time. Loved going to school dances.
They were fun.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's all I had to say about any other final thoughts on school dances at this point. You can let our kids go to dances?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But just to let you maybe feel better, me to feel better about myself, probably more so. Like I said, I at the University of West Georgia, which I did attend. I'm just setting the record straight.
Yes.
Which I did attend for my full-time for my junior and senior year of high school. I did not step foot inside my high school building after 10th grade. They did have dances, and we did refer to them as prom. And I did have a date. I went 3 times. I went the year after I graduated. I went with a friend as his date because he was a year behind me.
Oh, okay.
So,
nice.
Anyway, I did go 3 times with a date. The first 2 times were with an actual legitimate boyfriend. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
No, I believe you. I totally believe you.
All right.
And I'm sure it was a great time.
Actually, this is funny. This is a memory that just popped into my head. My senior year, if you will. The guy I was dating at the time, I said this actually last weekend to some of my friends. I said in high school or late high school, early college, I learned 3 things in my dating life about three M's. Don't date mics, don't date military, and don't date musicians. Because anyway.
Okay.
So this was a twofer. He was 2 out of 3.
Okay, so his name is Mike.
Oh man, he could have been military and musician. Dan, you don't know.
Well, I do know. Actually, I know this story, but
anyway.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you were in the military, your name was Mike, and you play in a band or any combination of those 3, please know that I do not share these feelings that my wife is putting out there in the ether right now.
Well, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, he had worn his dress greens to the event. He was dressed up.
Sure.
Very nice. He looked very nice. And I had this black, sparkly, like I'm telling you, just, that was like 10,000 pounds of sparkle on it. It was really pretty. And I actually just recently donated it. I was able to zip it up still. Okay.
Really?
Ish. My hips were a little questionable.
I just, sorry. Yeah, there was a little silence there. Please. Yeah, no, sorry. I didn't mean to.
That was mean. Anyway, but I decided to part with it. Anyway.
Well, listen, I the clothing that I would have
and by
worn in high
recently, it
school.
was probably before Eli. So.
Oh, so 4 years ago?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I can't fit into any of my
Anyway,
stuff
all I'm
from high
saying
school,
is
so.
I'm wearing this sparkly dress.
Yeah.
And we're dancing and we were dating, so we were close. And he was so pissed because it was dark and he didn't realize how much my sparkles were like sloughing off onto
from the dress.
onto his uniform. And he had some kind of like inspection or detail or some crap where he had to have that like
Oh boy.
done and ready and pressed by that Monday.
Yeah.
Oh man, he was chapped.
Well,
To say the
understandable.
least.
Yeah, that's
Chapped.
I can imagine
So
not being thrilled at that.
That was
prospect.
funny. Oh, I'm like licking the.
Are you licking the
No, it
microphone?
just keeps falling at me.
Please don't lick my microphone, Beth. Jesus.
Anyway, so that was that, and then the other one with the other boyfriend was. No, I don't think there was. I can't remember anything like. But yeah, my senior year.
Yeah.
And then I went back. Like I said, after I graduated, I was that. Yeah, I went back.
You went back. Were you the cool postgraduate, or did you feel creepy? Well, it was only the year after.
It was the
probably wasn't
next
creepy.
year, and like I said, it was a friend of mine, who was just a year behind me.
Yeah. So that wasn't bad then. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's going to wrap it up. And yeah, I mean, school dances were just, I had such a good time going to them as a kid. And, if they had school dances for adults that weren't weddings, I would totally go to those too. Honestly,
That sounds creepy.
I mean, it does. It really does. And it shouldn't, though. Because it's different than going to a club and dancing. It is. Like, I feel like at a club, there's like, first off, there's usually a lot of alcohol involved, and there's drama, and there's, and I guess that's true of high school dances too. So maybe it is like a high school dance. I don't know. Never mind. All right. Well, listen, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode here. I wanted this to come out right after Valentine's Day, so you could have a little bit of, Valentine's mojo. Before it fades, you can get a chance to listen to an episode about, young love, puppy love, if you will. And listen, if you were at a dance that I went to, Beth, I just want you to know, I probably would ask you to dance with me.
I don't know about that.
I would.
My railroad track teeth.
Listen,
I don't know about that.
I don't think you realize this. Like, as a guy, or with you as a girl, like, guys didn't care about that stuff on girls. Like,
Maybe you didn't. I don't know. But I swear to God, Dan, right after we end this, I'm going to go march down to my parents' house and I'm going to go find this stupid freaking picture that I know exists. And I'm going to slap it down on the table in front of you. And you're going to be like, yeah.
I'm going to say that's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. No.
You're going to shudder because there was so much wrong in that picture. So much wrong.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Well, listen. Before we wrap up, a couple things I want to talk about here. First off, Beth, thank you so much again for coming on the show.
Of course.
So next week, I'm actually super excited. I'm finally releasing an episode that is 2 months in the making. Now, Beth, you remember Goosebumps books, right?
Ermagerd.
I'll take that as a yes. You remember the episode I did with Dan Vorbeck?
Of course, yes.
So this is going to be a follow-up episode. I have the chance to sit down with none other than the illustrator of all of the Goosebumps books, Mr. Tim Jacobus.
It's pretty freaking cool.
I am so excited. He's actually going to be down here in Atlanta in a couple weeks for a convention of sorts. And so I figured this was a really good time. I just haven't had a chance to get his episode uploaded into rotation because I had so many other things planned. But I'm finally ready. We recorded this back before the end of the year last year. And so finally excited to get that out there into the ether, into the airwaves, if you will. So next week, Mr. Tim Jacobus will be joining me for a very fantastic conversation. We talked about some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
It was, you remember how excited I was afterwards, too?
Oh, yeah,
like,
you were pumped.
I came upstairs. I was so amped. I was like, that was so
Like,
much fun.
Yeah, I don't think you went to bed until like midnight.
I was, adrenaline, man. It was pumping. So had a great conversation with him. And that one actually is going to be up on YouTube as well. So if you want to see the interview I did with Tim, that's going to be up on YouTube probably in the next couple of weeks. But next week will be the audio interview that you can get right here on the podcast channel. So make sure you check that out. And listen, if you're just joining us here, if there was something about high school dances that caught your eye and your ear, that this is your first episode listening, again, welcome to the show. And if you grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, make sure you check out our other episodes. We cover everything from movies to TV shows to holidays to kind of everything in between. So check it out. We put out new episodes every single Wednesday, and make sure you're checking us out on the other social network channels as well, like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We're trying to put content up there, especially YouTube as well. So that being said, thank you so much for joining us. Beth, thank you once again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.